Hi guys, and welcome to our Saturday night main event and Evolution prediction video. Now, as you will see, I am back with Callum and Sab. Woohoo! Eh, the three of us are back together again. It's been quite a few months since WrestleMania, but it's good to have the trio back, lads. Good to have you back, boys. So obviously for our predictions for the double headliner, the double header this weekend. Now I know Saturday night main event is more of a glorified glorified house show, so don't usually do prediction videos for them. But with it being Goldberg's retirement match, I feel like we have to do a prediction video on that. And then of course on the Sunday we have the all women's PLE with Evolution making its return after what, I think 6 years. So pretty cool. So yeah, lads, are you looking forward to Saturday night main event and Evolution this weekend?
Probably more evolution than I am Saturday Night's main event, to be honest with you. I'm actually not sure I've really watched extensively the last two Saturday Night main events besides some of the highlights. But of course, it is Gunther's retirement match, so there obviously is something there for it.
Goldberg.
And Goldberg. Sorry, what did I say? Gunther. Well, Gunther might retire after what Goldberg does to on the weekend. And of course, yeah, Evolution. It's nice to see the women get their pay per view and everything else. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Okay. Sab?
Yeah, just like Cam said, we're probably more excited for the evolution because it's been 6 years since the last one, which is quite crazy. Actually, I can't believe that much time's passed. They do a lot of Saturday night main events now, so it has become just a televised house show,
Yeah.
and because they do it so often. However, the match, if you're looking at within our podcast, there's one particular match that we've been talking about for ages, which is finally happening. But we'll get into that shortly. But yeah, looking forward to both. Looking forward to both.
Okay. Yeah, apparently the ticket sales have not been very good for both shows this weekend. Like apparently Evolution's set to be one of the least attended PLEs in a long time, but apparently they're just trying to compete with AEW's All In, which just seems stupid because they're not going to beat All In, are they? That's like AEW's biggest show of the year. But anyway. Right, so let's get started then with Saturday night main event. We've only got three matches. Maybe one or two more will be
Is that
happening.
all? There's only three.
There's only three matches, but it's only a 2 hour show, isn't it? And obviously you have the advert breaks every 5 minutes, so it's not. Anyway, so let's get started then. So we have LA Knight going up against Seth Rollins. Cool. I mean, yeah, sure. I guess this is a match that could have been on Raw, but of course, LA Knight's been poking around in Seth's business, I guess, with his heel faction. Um, yeah. Um, Oh, I'm gonna go with uh, LA Knight because they mentioned Roman Reigns last night, so it seems very likely they're going to set up a match with Roman and Seth maybe at SummerSlam. So if Roman comes back here, gets a bit of a pop for the show, up the ratings, yeah, and he costs Seth the match, setting up their match for SummerSlam, and LA Knight, who needs a win, gets a win. Yeah, that's all I really got to say. So tribal chief returns here. Callum?
Well, LA Knight hit Seth Rollins with the BFT on Raw last night and
Oh
sort
dear.
of stood tall over him. So I'm not sure. We all know what happens when
Oh,
someone stands tall over somebody else on the go home show. I think the Roman has the potential maybe to be back more around SummerSlam. I don't know. I mean, obviously they brought Cody back at the last Saturday Night's main event, so I guess they could very much bring Roman back at this one. But obviously Seth has the Money in the Bank briefcase. Obviously his faction. I'll probably say Seth Rollins.
okay. Sab?
Yeah, I'm going to say Seth Rollins. I think, yeah, I think Paul Heyman name dropped Roman last night, was it? So they're obviously planting the seeds for that Roman Seth feud probably at SummerSlam. But yeah, Roman Reigns is a special attraction now, like Brock Lesnar was. So I can't see him making an appearance at this particular show. This show, no disrespect, feels a bit too small for Roman Reigns to be on. I don't see him appearing. They would have had him involved if they wanted more people to come watch the show. So can't see him getting involved. So therefore, I think Seth is probably going to win with the members of his group costing LA Knight. So Seth Rollins for me.
Okie dokie, two with Seth, one with Nice. Next up we have is Randy Orton versus Drew McIntyre. Returning Drew McIntyre, so obviously it's good to see him back. He returned the Raw after a Night of Champions. Challenge Randy. Uh, yeah, got no complaints here. These two go well back. Back to the COVID era when Drew was champion. They had some great matches. Um, and Sab, you can start with this one. Who's winning? Randy or Drew?
Well, tough one, obviously because Randy lost to Cody, Night of Champions. So, but again, Randy's in that sort of stage of his career where I think if he does take a loss, it's not a huge issue for him. I think Drew, he's just come back, so and I think he probably needs the win. So it just makes sense for it to be Drew. So I'm going to say Drew McIntyre gets the win.
Okay, Callum.
Yeah, I'm going with Drew as well. I think he's obviously just returned. He needs the win. I think Randy is going to go on somewhat of a losing streak before he snaps and turns heel again, because obviously we had that tease of it when, at King of the Ring and stuff like that, obviously when Cody beat him and stuff like this. So, yeah, it's going to be Drew wins. I don't know if Randy turns heel here, probably not, but again, it's going to be a descendancy into heel turn later.
Yeah, like you guys said, we saw the look on Randy's face when Cody was cutting that promo after the King of the Ring tournament, so it's coming. Um, but yeah, this one's a little bit tricky, like Sab said, because Randy's just lost. I don't think they want to have him lose another match in quick succession, but Drew's definitely not losing. He's just returned. So partly me think this could be a double count out or disqualification. I mean, it's a glorified house show. It really doesn't matter. And then they can have a bigger match with more anticipation, maybe at Clash in Paris, not Clash in Paris here, SummerSlam. Um, but now I'll go with the safe pick. I'll go with Drew to win, but I can see a double count out or a disqualification finish. Yeah, but yeah, okay. I'll go with you guys. I'll go with Drew. Okay. The next up, yes, well, the main event. I'm sure one or two other matches will be announced because the last Saturday night main event usually is 4 or 5 matches. So, but we'll see. The next match, yes, the big one. Yes, we have a singles match for the World Heavyweight Championship. Yes, we have Gunter defending his belt, going up against Goldberg. Yes, and this will be Goldberg's retirement match. Oh, end of an era, boys. End of an era. Goldberg's finally hanging up the boots, even though this is his first match in like what 3 years. But anyway, since Roman and Saudi back in 2022. So yeah, lads, it's finally here. Well, at the back we had the altercation at Bad Blood, like what 9 months ago now, or more than that, and here we are. They've finally come head to head. Goldberg's retirement match. It's a big deal. It's the only reason we're doing this prediction video because it's Goldberg's retirement match. What are your thoughts on this? Who have you got and why? And do you think the match is going to be good? I mean, Goldberg's 58. Is it just going to be spear, jackhammer, and then Gunther will just hit his moves? 5 minutes, done. Callum, you can start.
I mean, that's what Goldberg matches are, aren't they? I mean, that's what they've been since 2016. Besides when they had a couple of wrestling matches with
His matches with
Bobby Lashley a few years ago. But yeah, I mean, obviously, World Heavyweight Championships on the line. If you'd have asked me, I might have said that actually Goldberg could have beaten Gunter and then Seth could have cashed in Money in the Bank. But I feel like Seth is more likely now to cash in Money in the Bank on the undisputed title after what happened, at the last pay-per-view in Saudi Arabia. So I'm leaning more towards that. So I think, I mean, obviously, if Goldberg wins, he maybe retires, just vacates the title after. Maybe he gets a win out in Georgia in his home state when he leaves. But I can't see Gunter winning it on Raw a few weeks ago and losing it in his first defense, because that would be kind of harsh on Gunter. So probably just a safe pick to go for Gunther. But if Goldberg wins, gets a good moment, and Seth cashes in, then over that's going to be something big for Saturday night's main event. But I'll go with Gunther.
Okay, Sab.
Yeah, I mean, this is a big mess. Three of us have been talking about this match for a while, even as almost a laugh to my lad, but it's actually here, it's happening now. Having it happen on a Saturday main event is weird. I'm not a big Goldberg fan, but he is a big name in the wrestling business. So you'd think they could have waited till SummerSlam, but again, it's in his hometown. I don't know why they took the title off Jey Uso just to get this match in is so bad. It really is. I mean, Goldberg in 2025, but I don't know. I'm generally quite scared. I'm generally quite scared that something happens where Goldberg wins and then Seth catches in. I don't know. There's something that is biting at me, but yeah, I'm going to play it safe. The only thing that should happen is that Gunther wins and Goldberg never comes back into a wrestling ring. That is the only thing that should happen. But a part of me is worried. That's all. But yeah, Gunther wins and Goldberg thankfully retires.
I just hope Goldberg can actually pull off a jackhammer properly. Like if we get one last good jackhammer, because I think it's been a little while since we actually had a good jackhammer from Goldberg. And Gunter's a tall, quite heavy guy,
he's a
so
big dude as well. So it's not going to be easy.
But, yeah, I think the wrestler, the opposing wrestler, has to help. So he has to jump up with him and take the momentum. So I'm sure Gunther can do that. We'll see. But yeah, I do agree. It's been a while because I don't think he hit a jackhammer on Bobby Lashley, did he? In that Bobby Lashley feud back in 2021. So it has been a little while since we've seen a jackhammer. But we'll definitely see one in this match. So anyway, on to my prediction. Gunther. Yeah, Gunther's going to retain. There's absolutely no way Goldberg's winning here. Not on a glorified house show. And in your retirement match, you want to like put over the newer the full time guy, the younger guy, and Gunther. It makes Gunther look like a beast, I guess, beaten up. And it might even be a squash. Maybe Goldberg gets a few moves early on, a few spears, maybe a jackhammer, but then Gunther kicks out and Gunther just starts beating the crap out of Goldberg. The crowd start booing. And Gunther really needs something, man, because his booking the last few is really not annoyed me. How he tapped out so quickly to Jey Uso at WrestleMania. I know he's won the belt back, but we've not seen that Gunther, the Intercontinental Champion Gunther, how much of a destroyer he was in NXT UK. I want that wrestler back. The way he's been booked lately, he looks like such a wimp. CM Punk just pushed him down like it was nothing. Goldberg punched him on Raw. So I want the destroyer. Gunther back here, and hopefully we see it here. So yeah, after a good Goldberg start, Gunther gets the win. And at the end, Goldberg will probably like bow to the crowd, and there'll be a thank you, Goldberg, and they'll play his music, and that'll be it. Yeah, and yeah, thank you, Goldberg. I know his matches have been so hit and miss over the years, but he is a legend. He is a Hall of Famer, and yeah, some of the matches we've had have been legendary. So yeah, thank you, Goldberg. Okay then. So that is it. All three of us going with Gunther to retain. Right then, on to Evolution. Is a mystery. Let me just get this up. Okay, so a bit more to talk about here. So this is a 7-match card and an actual PLE. No offense, Saturday Night Main Event. So looking forward to this one, lads. Evolution back in 2019, I thought was a really good show. This one's had nowhere near as much hype, but still should be a fun show. So we'll start off then with a battle royal for a world championship match at Clash in Paris. So the participants, there's only a handful. I think it's Nikki Bella, Stephanie Vaquia, Natalia, Maxine Dupree, Nia Jax, Ivy Nile. So there's going to be a few more added to that. Who have you got, lads got? I'm just going to say it right now. Stephanie Vaquia. Woo! She's she's my new favorite. Yeah. Woo!
I think Nikki Bella wins.
Oh God!
Because if I'm honest, I think she was supposed to be entering into a feud with Liv and Raquel after what was obviously set up before. But since Liv's injured, Nikki's come back. I'm not sure where she really fits in, and she is supposed to be back on a sort of permanent / part-time-ish basis moving forward. So. You'd imagine she has to have some kind of a title match at some point. And look, you can do that all you like, but Nikki Bella is a legend of women's wrestling. She actually is.
10 years ago, yeah.
Can't deny it.
Suit yourself, Sab.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's actually quite a good point by Callum. I mean, I think she cut a promo, didn't she, yesterday, saying I'm entering in, and when people do that, it tends to be because they're going to have a good little. I think it could be that I think she'll have just a good showing in the Battle Royal. I don't think she'll actually win. She shouldn't win. But you never know. I'm going to go with Adam as well, Stephanie Vaquer. I think maybe she even emulates Nikki Bella's. It'd be a nice little thing as well, and maybe they have a feud. I don't know. I don't know if Nikki Bella's properly back for a little proper run. But I'm sure they'll find something for her. But yeah, Stephanie Vicker, she's properly hot right now, and it would be good to see her win as well, actually.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Stephanie Vaquer as well. I really like her, but we'll see. 'Cause a lot of competitors have not been announced yet. I assume a lot of it will be NXT talent, mid-card wrestlers for the women. So
Probably
yeah,
some legends thrown into perhaps.
yeah. I mean, Trish Stratus is in it, I think. Yeah, yeah. I know she's not. She's facing Trish Stratton. Okay then. Right, next up, uh, we have Jade Cargill versus Naomi in a no holds barred match. Okay, down for this. Obviously these two have been beefing since before WrestleMania. They had a match at WrestleMania which Jade won.
Well,
Uh,
since the Elimination Chamber, since like before Christmas. When was it? When was it that Naomi was supposed to have injured Jade? Was it back in December? I can't remember. It was a
yeah,
long time ago now.
yeah, I did say before WrestleMania. So, I'm gonna go with Jade Cargill here because she needs to look strong ahead of her match. You'd assume with Tiffany Stratton at SummerSlam. So yeah, Jade Cargill wins, and Naomi's still got the briefcase, so she's probably going to cash in at SummerSlam. So yeah, Jade Cargill, pretty straightforward. So
Yeah, good long-term storytelling with this, which is actually good. Like they're actually a sustained story that I'm generally have been invested in the whole time. Yeah, and I like the feud here, but yeah, it's SummerSlam's on the horizon. It's probably the biggest show, and Jade's got a big match there. And the story's not done with Naomi, but I think Jade will win. So Jade.
okie dokie, Callum.
The only problem is that Jade beat her at WrestleMania, so this is going to be like 2 wins for Jade. And I know that we're saying, if of course if Jade wins and beats Tiffany at SummerSlam and Naomi cashes in, I suppose you do have the last laugh, but it's still like you know Jade is technically sort of 2-0 up against Naomi. That's the only thing kind of making me think, but. Mm, No, I'll go with Jade. Like, she has them, the world. She has the title match against Tiffany at SummerSlam or Trish, but it's definitely going to be Tiffany. Spoiler. Um, so yeah, I think Jade wins because obviously she's on a bit of a run at the moment, and then yeah, we do get the surprise of Naomi cashing in at SummerSlam.
Okie dokie, all three of us with Jade Cargill. All right. Next up, then we have a singles match for the NXT Women's Championship. Yeah, NXT. Woohoo! We have JC Jane with Fallon Henley and Jasmine Nix going up against Jordan Grace. I've not really been keeping up to date with NXT. I don't even know who JC Jane is.
Oh, JC Jane's been in NXT for ages. You know
Yeah,
who
I,
she
I
is.
do not really watch NXT, so I don't even.
I swear, even when Mandy Rose was there, she was part of the whole Toxic Attraction stable.
I just don't watch it, so I just haven't for years. So, but obviously I know Jordan Grace. She's been on. She's popped up for quite a few times. Sab, who have you got?
Yeah, I'm a bit out of the loop with NXT, but did a little bit of catch up so I knew what was going on. But I think I'm going to go with Jordan Grace. Seems all right. Obviously, she's made the switch from TNA. She's featured quite heavily in all the shows up until now, and she won a tournament obviously to get her shot. So yeah, I'm going to go Jordan Grace. The time is now. She says she's going to be a big star. So yeah.
Okay, Callum.
Yeah, I mean JC winning the title was quite a shock because she beat Stephanie Becerra, I'm fairly certain, when she was the I know, or was it Julia? I can't remember which one of them was the NXT champion before, but of course they were all coming to the main roster, and of course they needed to drop the NXT title, so it was a bit of a shock moment when JC won. But yeah, Jordan Grace is, like I said, the future. She's been kicking around in TNA and the Indies for a long time, and she's obviously been at the last 2 Rumbles and everything else as well. So she'll probably soon be on her way to the main roster, but I think a run with the NXT title first. They'll be on the card, so I reckon she beats JC Jane and she becomes the NXT champion.
Yeah, I'll go with Jordan Grace as well. Um, yeah, I've literally got nothing to say. Is yeah, Jordan Grace wins, and yeah, maybe JC Jane goes up to the main roster. Okie dokie then. We have a fatal four-way tag team match for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships. Yes, we have the Judgment Day, Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez, defending the belts, going up against Charlotte and Alexa Bliss, Sol Ruka and Zarya. The Kabuki Warriors, Asuka and Kairi Sane. This should be a very fun match. I'll start with this one. I'm actually going to go with Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss because they have been quite a fun pairing the last few weeks. I've enjoyed them together. And yeah, I think it's been like a breath of fresh air for Charlotte. I think a lot of people, well, like, obviously were slagging her off when she won the Rumble and she faced Tiffany at WrestleMania, but she's a bit lower down the card now, teaming with Alexa. I think it's been a good thing for her, and I think it'd be a cool thing for them to have be tag team champions. So yeah, I'm going to go with Charlotte and Alexa to win the tag team belts and have an absolutely rubbish reign as everyone else has had before them. So, Callum.
With Roxanne replacing Liv as Raquel's tag team partner, I can see I can see Roxanne and Raquel holding on to them for. I mean, we might not get Liv back until around the Royal Rumble. It kind of makes sense. I don't think they'll hold it all the way until then. They have to lose them. But this whole thing about Roxanne replacing Liv and stuff like this, you kind of need to maybe have something where the two of them defend the title successfully for a little while. But then I do think that Charlotte and Alexa have this quite, interesting dynamic recently, like you said. Do I think that's enough for them to? Because I feel like they both need something because neither of them are in obviously any world title pictures at the moment. So they feasibly could, but I don't think Raquel and Roxanne have actually defended the titles together yet. So I'm actually going to go for a Roxanne and Raquel retain, I think. And it's not safe. It's probably a bit of a rogue shout, but I just think, to keep Liv anxious at home, they'll retain the titles.
Fair enough. Sab? Yeah, I think if Liv Morgan was still in this match, then she would have won. Her and her partner would have won this. And I think it's probably a bit too early to take the titles off Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez. So I think it's quite interesting if they retain because, that could set up something for SummerSlam. Maybe Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair get another crack at them at SummerSlam and maybe they win them there. But yeah, I think it would be nice if Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez win. So I'm going to go with them, saying like Callum.
Okie dokie. Right. What's next? Right, we have a triple threat match for the WWE Women's Intercontinental Championship. Yes, we have Becky Lynch defending the belt, going up against Bayley and Lyra Valkyria. Ooh, this is a very good match. Oh yes, looking forward to this one. Probably one of the matches I'm looking forward to the most. Of course, Becky won the belt off Lyra. Was it at Night of Champions? Yeah, it was at Night of Champions, wasn't it? And she held up Becky's out at the end. Or was it Money in the Bank? I can't quite remember. One of the two. And now Bayley's interjected herself into the feud as we thought she would, because her and Becky have history. Enjoyed the angle last night. They were like beating each other up. This one's quite predictable. As good of a match as it's going to be, I'm pretty sure Becky's retaining here. She's only just won the belt, so I think it'd be crazy for her to drop it in her first defense. At least hold it till SummerSlam or the Paris PLE. So yeah, should be a fantastic match between these three. I've really enjoyed Becky and Lyra's two matches before this. So yeah, with Bayley involved, it's going to be just as great, if not better. So, but I'm going with Becky to retain. Sab?
Yeah, it seems quite it's been a really good feud actually. It does I agree. And although I did actually see yesterday that I think Becky has been cast in something, a series or a film or something like that. I think she put it on her Instagram.
Oh.
So I don't know if she has to leave soon to start filming that. So that made me think, oh, is that why it's a triple threat to kind of make sure she can drop the title? But I think, yeah, seems too soon. Like you said, she's just got the title back. So big title changes probably would be safe till SummerSlam if she does have to go away anyway. So yeah, it's going to be a great match. Probably the match of the night, but Becky Lynch to retain.
Callum?
Well, I don't think it'll be Lyra because obviously she's recently just held the title and I think she stood tall on them both yesterday. Becky Lynch is Becky Lynch. If she loses the title, she's still Becky Lynch, and she'll come out on Raw the next night and like nothing happened, and I don't know, things like this. And of course, she is supposedly back like for a fairly permanent run. Like she's going to be part-time or anything at the moment. But I think, Bayley having this whole being attacked by Becky before WrestleMania, taking her place in, the tag team match with Lyra, and then obviously coming back and all this kind of stuff. And, I think I'm actually going to go for Bayley because I agree that it's early for Becky to lose a title, but I think Bayley in this feud, has kind of been dumped on a little bit, especially it's this kind of stuff. So her being in this feud, it being a triple threat, so that perhaps she pins Lyra and you protect Becky or whatever, and Bayley walks away with the title. So yeah, I'm going to go in a rogue one. I'm going to say that Bayley wins the IC title.
Interesting. Okay, one with Bailey, two with a Becky to retain. Right then, I think we've done most of the matches now. There's just two left. Yes. Okay.
The two world title matches.
Oh, yes, we'll end on them. So yes, we have a singles match for the WWE Women's Championship. Yes, we have Tiffany Stratton going up against Trish Stratus. Woo-wee! What a match! What a package! Yeah, I mean, it's like Trish pops up every now and then and just has a match with one of the younger stars to have a great. She's done it with Charlotte. She's done it with Becky. Now she's doing it with Tiffany Stratton. Yeah, no complaints. I'm sure this is going to be great. You've got Tiffany going up against the veteran in Trish Stratus. But it's very, very obvious who's going to win here. Tiffany Stratton. Absolutely no way Trish wins this, but I think she's just been given this match to have a really good defense against an absolute veteran, a legend like Trish Stratus, who can still put on amazing matches in her late 40s. It's good to see like Tiffany and Io finally get defenses. This is their first PLE defenses since WrestleMania. Triple H, like not one defense the last three PLEs, which isn't so good. Anyway, but yeah, Tiffany Stratton to retain. Callum?
Yeah, Tiffany. It's going to be Tiffany and Jade at SummerSlam. Trish is there as a legend on Evolution. I'm sure they'll put out a good match. They must have a bit of history as tag team partners earlier on in the year. So yeah, there's obviously a little bit of build to it, I suppose. But yeah, Tiffany's going to retain.
Sam?
Yeah, you've both nailed it earlier. I mean, it's good to see Trish, and she can still go in the ring, which is good. So this would be good for Tiffany going forward. Like, a big win against a legend, arguably one, if not the greatest women's wrestler of all time. So that's huge for her character going forward. But yeah, it's pretty obvious that Tiffany's going to win this. But I'm sure it'll be a great match. So Tiffany Stratton to beat Trish.
Oh yeah, Callum said they teamed up, didn't they, Tiffany and Trish? When was that? I think
It was
this year.
It was this year, I think it was.
Yeah, it was. It was.
They teamed up at a PLA, definitely.
It was against Nia. I think it was against Nia and
Right.
somebody else.
I swear that you think they're mother and daughter, wouldn't you, when you look at them? She looks like Tiffany's mum, Trish. Oh.
Yeah, they might have teamed up at Elimination Chamber.
Okay, I think it was definitely a PLE this year. Okay, cool. And next up we have is the main. Well, I think will be the main event. Definitely, yes. We have a singles match for the Women's World Championship. Yes, we have Io Sky defending her belt, going up against Rhea Ripley.
Again.
Yeah, I think there's been a few fans saying Triple H, he loves Rhea Ripley a bit too much because she's just been given a title match like that. Whatever. I've started the last few. Sorry. So Callum, who's winning? Is Io retaining or is Rhea getting the belt back?
Io is retaining. I think you have the prospect of Asuka and Io at SummerSlam because that was teased before the Queen of the Ring finals. You can even throw Kairi Sane in there because, of course, the Kabuki Warriors are together again. You've got that whole thing about like, oh, I bet you wish you still had Damage Control and stuff like that. So there might be like those three in a triple threat. I suppose you could, if Bayley loses the IC match, you could almost throw her in as like a Damage Control Fatal 4-Way or something. Poor Dakota Kai is no longer with the company, of course. But yeah, I think Io wins, and obviously you maybe have Asuka, you maybe have triple threat at SummerSlam, whatever. But yeah, Io wins, and Rhea's just like the new Charlotte Flair. No, that's not fair. That's not true. But yeah, she has had a lot of title matches recently, so she needs to slow down a little bit. But yeah.
Okay, Sab.
Yeah, it's such a shame that Triple H doesn't want to book Io Sky as a champion. You know, the sum of the WrestleMania feud was really overshadowed by Bianca and Rhea. They made it feel like an afterthought. Did you say this is the first title defense since WrestleMania?
Same for Tiffany as well, yeah.
Yeah, so that's really bad. That's really really bad. And,
On a PLE, yeah.
you know, she should have at least won since April. That's really bad. We're into July now, so that's not good. And again, Rhea Ripley just has this match for whatever reason because she's Rhea Ripley, and that's not good. Ian needs this, and she deserves it as well. You know, give her a big win as champion. She's champion. She needs to be made to seem like one. You need to feel that she's champion. So I hope Io gets the win. That's what I'd like to see. So I'm going to go with Io as well.
Okay. Both going with Io. I'm a little bit worried Rhea might win it back here because she's got a massive losing streak against Io. They brought that up at WrestleMania, didn't they? And Io did get a win over her and Bianca at WrestleMania. So I'm like, maybe Rhea wins it back here. I don't want that to happen, but I think they do it. Oh, now I'll go with my heart. I'm gonna say Io Sky retains because she deserves it. And I love Rhea Ripley, but she too much Rhea Ripley at the moment in title matches. Just no, push her down the card for a bit, please. Put in one of the maybe the mid card women's titles. I don't know. So yeah, and then like Callum said, we could maybe get a Kabuki Warriors or an Asian Fatal Four Way or a triple threat with Asuka, Kairi Sane, Io Sky. So am I missing someone? No.
Well, you could throw Julia in there if you really wanted to,
Yeah. So
but
that would
I
be
think she's on SmackDown, isn't she?
that could be a great singles match or potentially a triple threat. So yeah, Io Sky to retain. Fingers crossed. So yeah, lads, that concludes Evolution and Saturday Night Main Event. Yes, first ever time we've done a double header. Hope the last time too. Don't worry, lads, because like I said, we very rarely do Saturday Night Main Events just because of Goldberg's retirement match. That's literally the only reason we've done it. So yeah, lads. Hopefully this weekend is fun. Of course, we've got AEW's All In too. I might watch a few highlights of that because there's usually some really good matches in an All In. And the three of us will be back later on in the month with our SummerSlam predictions. Of course, the big one, yes, taking place across over 2 nights this year, just like WrestleMania. So yes, we're back with the big one, SummerSlam, later on in the month. So thank you, lads. It's been a pleasure having you both back. It's been too long.
Good to be
Always,
back.
it's always good to be here.
And yes, the three of us, well, hopefully, will hopefully be back later on of the month for SummerSlam. Okay, thanks, lads.